Welcome to the Latin America house. Today we are starting a new building in the Elm Hill City Zoo, and we'll also be adding the first animal to it, the adorable bush dog from the brand new America's Animal Pack. I hope you guys will enjoy it. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates and welcome back to my channel. It's so nice to have you here for another episode of the Elm Hill City Zoo, and this one is a bit special because we are starting a new project in the zoo called the Latin America house. And of course today we will be building for a brand new animal from the newest America's Animal Pack. That is also my favorite animal out of the entire pack, the bush dog. The plan for today's episode is not only to build a new habitat and start the new big building in the zoo, but also talk a bit more about the America's Animal Pack now that it is released. And also we will talk a bit about my plans for the new animals when it comes to the Elm Hill City Zoo, where I want to locate them, what enclosures I want to build. I have this more or less planned in my head, so I want to share it with you guys because I got some questions about this. First of all, the new building that I decided to call the Latin America house, that will be located in our little South American section. That is not going to be so little anymore after we'll build this. So far we only had the colored peccary in there, the 9-banded armadillo, the maned wolf and the giant anteaters, and right now there will be much more. So as soon as I got the list of the animals from Frontier in the early access for the trailer and then for the game, by the way, the big thanks to Frontier once again for this, I started planning for the new animals. I really wanted to expand our South American section in the zoo, and this is the perfect opportunity. And since some of those animals are a bit more tropical, I thought that we just need some indoor spaces for them in a European zoo like this. So that's why I decided to build a new South American building, and it will include 3 animals from the newest America's pack and 1 animal that we already had in the game. So the animals that we will be adding to this building are the bush dog that we are building for today, the ocelot, the white-faced saki, and also after all that will be finished, I will also build an indoor enclosure for the sloth. In today's episode, we won't build any of the interior for this building. I just thought that building the whole outside area for the bush dogs and also the whole big and detailed entrance to this building is enough for one episode. We will do one last big episode of filling in the building, building the indoor areas, and also building a walkthrough sloth habitat, which I am super excited for because I have been waiting to build for the sloth for such a long time, and I just can't wait to finally have it in the Elm Hill City Zoo. Of course, this is not the end of our South American section. After we'll be done with this building, we'll still add the greater Ria in a separate enclosure. I just thought that they don't need a house anywhere there. They are kept in European zoos all year round outside from what I've seen. And also there will be a big facility, like a big enclosure for the sloth bears as well somewhere. So this is something that I am very excited as well for. I was debating for a long time if I should add the white-faced saki to this building or not, because I have the whole primate section planned for this zoo. That is coming eventually, I promise this to you guys. So many of you are asking for both the bears and also the monkeys, but for sure they are coming. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to add it here, to finally build for a primate. And also I thought, okay, in real life zoos, some of the individual primates are often housed in different sections of the zoo. So why not add 1 primate to this house? The capuchin monkey will be housed in the primate section still. I have a really cool idea for their habitat, but in here we will have the white-faced saki. Also, I saw some concern among you why they don't get the interspecies enrichment. I mean the saki and the capuchin. capuchin. You can still house them together, they will be living just fine without fighting, they won't just get the enrichment, but I think that they did that because capuchin monkeys are known for being very aggressive towards other species. They are sometimes kept with other species, but the white-faced Saki is a very silent and a docile monkey, so in real life I think that there might be a bit bullying happening between them, but I think that normally zoos just observe if this mix works when they are mixing different animals, and they, react if there are some issues. There are no two the same animals when it comes to their character, to their behaviors, so sometimes you can get a very docile capuchin monkey, for example, that is perfectly fine with all other animals, and sometimes you can get a very aggressive individual that will just bully and, attack other animals, so this is all individual. By the way, if you still don't have the pack and you would like to see all of those animals up close, learn a bit more about them, I have a whole YouTube video showcasing all the animals and all the new building pieces added to the game with the new America's Animal pack that I was able to record during the early access time for the game, so if you like to check this out, I'll put the link down in the description and on the screen right now. This video took me so much time to record, so I would really appreciate if you guys could go there or just simply leave a like there, because recording those showcases, oh my god, this always takes so much time because I want to show you a bit of animations, their behaviors, and waiting for them to, for example, make a specific animation facing the sun, not in the shadows, so it looks nice in the video. And also, still, English is not my first language, so sometimes I make mistakes and I don't like to include them in the video, so I need to do the commentary live while the animal is doing a certain thing, so it both looks nice and also I don't mumble or say something stupid. So sometimes it takes several takes for me just to describe the colors of the animal or how the female looks or something like that. So yeah, definitely it takes so long time to record those videos, although I don't think it looks like this. Early access for me for this DLC and the whole launch was a bit crazy. It was probably the most craziest one so far, although we are on the DLC number 19 already. I had so much work. I was also on the business trip, combined with a birthday of my friend. So I had to drive to Warsaw, which is 450 kilometers from the place where I live, and I decided to take my PC with me. So I packed my PC, my 2 monitors, the speakers, the microphone, everything, and I was, taking all the time that I had free in Warsaw to record those videos, which was a bit crazy, but that is the reason why I wasn't able to, record any of the habitat builds before. That's why you had to wait a bit for this new video, but I hope that it was worth the wait. I am so proud of this build, and I am very excited for the new house that we are building, because as you will see at the end of the video, I think that this has turned out really nice. Probably it is one of my favorite facades of the buildings that we have built in the zoo. Of course, the reptile house will be probably forever my number one. I'm so proud of this build, but this one is also really nice. And this kind of brings me to the topic of the inspirations. You guys ask me a lot about this, how I find them or how I find ideas for my builds and stuff like this. So this time I wanted to show you a bit more. So while building a habitat like this, first of all, what I am checking out, what I am looking for are probably barriers for a certain animal. Especially for an animal like a bush dog. I saw them in several zoos, but this is not an antelope or this is not a flamingo, where I more or less know how the fence for them should look to keep them in the habitat. When it comes to the animal like a bush dog, I need to do some research. And I remembered that the last habitat that I have seen for the bush dogs was in Poland in Łódź Zoo, and they had those really cool glass barriers for those guys. Now, I know that Planet Zoo in the Zoopedia gives you the minimal height for the fence for every animal, and for the bush dog it's 1 meter and 25 centimeters or something like that, which to me, of course, probably the animal won't be able to escape because they are very tiny. They probably cannot jump this high, but I'm also looking at the guests. Is it possible that some guests might try to, reach into their habitats and try to pet a little and cute bush dog? Probably yes. Is it also possible that the bush dog will try to bite their hand or bite off one of the fingers? Yes, absolutely. That's why I think that animals like this shouldn't have such a low fence, or else you are using like a double fencing system or anything like that, because simply people, they sometimes don't think. Let's just put it this way. So this was that when it comes to the inspiration for the barriers, but I needed an inspiration for this building as well. I really liked the Hellebrunn Zoo that I visited recently, and they had this really nice like ape house with chimpanzees and gorillas, and I remember that it was really impressive from the outside. So this was something that inspired the sides of this building. And then I also needed a front facade and the entrance. I kind of struggled with this because of the height of the whole building. I need to simply make it very high because the walkthrough exhibit for the sloths is very high, so of course the sloths must fit in here. And the problem with high buildings in this game is that the entrance for the guests or the doors and the guests in general sometimes can look a bit like silly compared to the height of the entire building. So I really was looking for an entrance to a very high building that I saw in some of the zoos, and this is how I found this tropical house in Copenhagen Zoo that I visited like 2 years ago. So yeah, those 3 things, the barriers from Wood Zoo, the building from the Hellebrunn Zoo, and the building from the Copenhagen Zoo inspired this project, and here you have all 3 of those pictures next to each other. So yeah, this is basically where I find my inspiration for my builds. So that's why I'm always telling you guys that it is so important to actually visit the real life zoos. And if you cannot, or you just live far from the zoo, and for any other reason you cannot visit zoos, you can always follow me, for example, on my Instagram, where I am uploading those tours from my zoo visits. Every time I go to the zoo, I make tons and tons of videos and pictures. I record some TikToks, Reels, and so on. So you can follow me in my Instagram, on my TikTok, on my other social media accounts. Everything is down in description. And I think that this might be a pretty nice source of inspiration for this game, if I do say so myself. And if we are on this topic of self-promoting, I just wanted to say that a lot of new faces recently joined the channel, so I am very happy about that. Thank you guys so much. And I also know that around half of you that are watching my videos are not subscribed to my channel, and that would really mean the world to me if you guys would click that subscribe button so you won't miss any of my future uploads. And this really keeps me going when I see those numbers. It is really motivating. I'm sure that everyone who has ever recorded and posted something on this platform will understand that I am not doing this for the views and for everything like this, but of course this is very motivating. So if you like to support me a bit more, just click this subscribe button and I would greatly appreciate that. Especially that Planet Zoo is a bit down recently on YouTube. There are still some people who are really successful. I can see that some of my videos that I think should do good are doing so-so. This doesn't discourage me to record, don't get me wrong, but of course seeing more and more subscribers, likes, and so on really keeps me going. Okay, but let's finally talk about the bush dogs and their new enclosure. As I told you guys at the beginning of the video, the bush dog is my favorite animal from this new pack. I just love that this is a completely new animal with completely new animations, that it can deep dive, the sounds are amazing. I know that there are some complaints about the way it looks, especially about the face, the head, and so on, and I can sort of see that, but I can forgive for Frontier because this animal for me is so nice. I also really wanted it in Planet Zoo. I've seen them in several zoos. Every time it's a treat because they are really active. There's a lot of going on in their enclosures. Yeah, such a treat to have this animal in the game finally. And it's a very unique looking dog, and you guys know that I love dogs. I have my own dog that is kind of like a similar size to this. Maybe mine is a bit smaller. Yeah, really happy with this addition, and that's why I wanted to build something nice for them. And this is why I am also starting with this animal when it comes to this new pack. So we've built the barriers, as I told you, inspired by the wood zoo. I also did like a little back barrier from the mesh, and I added those new fabric pieces from the new pack. I also did a little holding pen for them, and then it was time to do the side wall of the building that was inspired by Hellabrunn Zoo with those windows up there, and then I added the rock formations, like the rock wall, to make the background of this habitat. So I used my regular stalagmite pieces, but this time I wanted to make it look a bit more interesting, so I wanted to blend in those dynamic mossy rocks that I really like, and I am very happy that I decided to do so, because I think that this wall looks a bit more unique from the ones that I did for all of those habitats where I use them. I just love using them, so I'm using them for almost every habitat right now. Then I added a lot of plants on those rocks to make them look a bit more interesting, and then I created a water section for the bush dogs. The bush dogs love water. They live near water sources. They can dive, as we know. They have those wobbled feet. This is actually so interesting that a canine species can dive. It's not very common for them. So I wanted to make a little creek that will go through the entire habitat to a little pond for them where they will be able to swim. I also created some rock formations using the rocks from the tropical set. I really like them because they have this color that sort of looks like a regular dirt texture, so you can sort of think of them as just, parts of the terrain. And then I added plenty of plants to this habitat. Finally, an animal that we can add tons of the plants and not worry about this, so they won't be eaten. This is also a very small animal, so it won't destroy the plants by stepping on them. I wanted to make this water section very overgrown with different kinds of plants, and I also really wanted to use the new daffodils that we got with the free update for this pack. So I used it as some pieces of grass, like this version without the flowers, and it looks amazing. So this is another piece that you will see me using a lot in my future builds. I added some enrichment items for the bush dogs, both the in-game enrichment items and also some custom ones, like the hollow log that was created by ZSH Plays. That is amazing. I will of course put the link down to all the blueprints that I used in this build, so they will be in the description. I also created this little tunnel, again using the new pieces, like those rounded metal pieces. This looks so cool. Small animals sometimes have those small plastic tunnels or anything to play simply in their habitat or just to hide in there. So yeah, I added something like that, and then I added some details like decals, like fallen leaves and so on, and that was basically it when it comes to this habitat. Before I will start talking about the entrance that you will see me build in a second, there's still two topics. There's so many things that I wanted to tell you in this video because it's been so long. So the first one, as you guys know, because I told you some time ago, I had some crazy issues with the Elm Hill City Zoo, with the crashes, lags and so on. That's why also you didn't see the zoo for quite a long time on my channel, but I need to give a huge shout out and huge thanks to Frontier and their influencer team, who were so lovely to help me with that. They really wanted me to continue this series. So we didn't have any major big things in the new free update. We only had the daffodils and some fixes for the animals and stuff, but we had this that you can see right now on the screen, those stability fixes and so on. down, and this is what saved my zoo, so I am very thankful to them. Right now I can load in without any problems, I can build without any problems, and I also feel, I don't know if you guys saw any difference since installing the new update and the DLC, but the performance for me is so much better in this huge zoo. It is far less laggy, so I am very grateful to Frontier for that, that we can simply continue the Elm Hill City Zoo series. I have so many plans for this zoo. And when it comes to that, you guys probably know that we didn't finish the Goodwin Center on time. We still had one animal coming, the African leopard, and I actually started to build for this animal. The enclosure is sort of like half done. I love how it is turning out, but of course we had this new DLC coming and I had to put that project away for a second on a shelf, so we will probably like add 1 or 2 animals to this project and to the Latin America house, and then we'll go back and finish the Goodwin Center and add the African leopard. I know that this is quite messy. I don't like being that messy and jumping back and forth from different projects, but yeah, I couldn't finish that one, so you'll have to bear with me for a second there, but I promise you guys that the African leopard exhibit is coming, and I'm sure that you will like it because I love how it is turning out, so yeah, can't wait to actually upload it. I also realized that I didn't share with you guys plans for all the animals from this DLC. I told you about, of course, the ones that we'll include here. So the Saki, the Bush Dog, the Ocelot, also the Rias will be somewhere nearby. Of course, I will also build for the American flamingos. I have a really nice plan for them also in the South American section. But we still have the bighorn sheep and the coyote, and the bighorn sheep is the one that I really want to include here somewhere. I don't know where. This will probably be like a filler habitat somewhere in the zoo, like in between different sections that we have free, but I'll definitely add the bighorn sheep because I think it is a beautiful animal. And the coyote, I actually think that I will build something for them in the place of the outdoor koala habitat that we have in the zoo that is located next to the timber wolves, dolls, and the dingoes. So it will be sort of like an addition to our canid section of the zoo, but this is probably a plan for a far future when we'll be building, first we need to build a new home for our koalas. I already have a plan for that, but yeah, this will have to wait a bit. And of course, I don't have too much time to talk about the actual entrance, but my favorite thing about this is the doors that I am creating right now probably. The rounded metal shapes from the America's pack look so good as those rounded windows in those doors. I love this detail about this. And of course, this entrance is very inspired by the Copenhagen Zoo, and they're like sort of like a tropical house. I really don't know what's the name of this building, but there are chimpanzees inside and some like tropical walkthrough exhibits for different tropical animals. I know that there is sloth for sure because I remember seeing it there, and we'll also have sloth inside. So, but yeah, this is all when it comes to the speed build part. Let's meet again in the second so I can show you around everything that we've built today. So here you have it! This is the front facade of the entrance to the newest building in the Elm Hill City Zoo, the Latin America house inspired by the Copenhagen Zoo. I honestly can't wait till we'll start to build the interior for it. And here are the first inhabitants of this building, the amazing bush dogs from the America's Animal Pack. This is a social dog, so I decided to add a small family of 5 dogs, and I hope that the pack will adapt easily to their new habitat. This animal is totally amazing in the game. I love their animations, sounds, and how lively they are. This is their outdoor enclosure with a lot of plants, a water section, some logs and rock formations. As I told you, they will also have an indoor area, but we'll build that when we'll be filling the inside of the house. I tried to use some of the new pieces from the America's Animal Pack for this build, and I must say that the new metal pieces are incredible, but overall the pieces are a bit underwhelming. Thank God that the animals are absolutely top tier. Okay guys, this is all when it comes to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think about the house, what you think about the new bush dog habitat, and what are your thoughts about the DLC now that you've checked it out yourself. If you would like to support the channel a little bit extra and become a sponsor of one of the habitats in the Elm Hill City Zoo, perhaps the bush dog habitat, you can do it by becoming a member of the channel by clicking the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!